This session we covered about DSO, DSO and types of DSO and the cube also. So this one also we covered in yesterday's session. So today we are going to cover about MultiProvider and InfoSet. Okay. So what is MultiProvider and what is InfoSet? So these are non-HANA objects. Okay, InfoSet. In BW4 HANA, you don't see these two objects at all because BW4 HANA is completely on HANA and SAP removed replaced these two objects with the composite provider. Okay, so composite provider is a replacement to the multi-provider and InfoSet concept in the old BW systems. But if you get a chance to work on BW 7.5 older versions and 7.4 without HANA database, then definitely you create these two only instead of composite provider. Okay, so for that reason at least you must know how to create multi-provider and how it works, and how to create InfoSet and how it works. You must have some knowledge on it. Okay, till some time. So what is multi-provider? Multi-provider follows union logic. InfoSet follows join logic. Okay, join functionality. So when in the interview, how we are supposed to say this? What is the difference between multi-provider and InfoSet? This is the general question before HANA comes into picture. So multi-provider follows union functionality. InfoSet follows join functionality. But now composite provider came when after HANA. Okay, HANA object composite provider. So composite provider follows supports both union and join functionality. Okay, so that is the difference. This is both union and join. So now we are going to learn about multi-provider. Composite provider already covered in earlier sessions. So today we are going to cover about multi-provider and InfoSet. What is multi-provider? Multi-provider supports union functionality. Okay, what is union means? Multi-provider is a virtual provider. It means it doesn't hold any data physically. Okay, it retrieve data from the underlying providers. Okay, a multi-provider can be created using other providers. What are other providers means? Like cubes. Mainly we create it on top of cubes, but we can add DSO and info object also under it. Okay, like how a composite product can be created on top of ADSOs, of different types info object. In the same way, a multi-provider can be created using a cube, DSO, info object. Okay, but 90% we always create multi-provider on top of cubes only. Why? Because cubes perform faster performance compared to DS1 info object. Okay, because of cube follows star schema functionality. That's why cube is recommendable for the reporting purpose. Okay, multi-provider also follows star schema like a cube. How cube structure looks like. Similarly, multi-provider also in the same way. Okay, so now let's see how to create a multi-provider. Then we can learn, further we will discuss. So how to create multi-provider? As I said, a multi-provider can be created on top of cube. So in our last session, we created a cube, right? So this is the cube. So when we're talking about cube, I told you about in the cube, what are will be there? Dimensions, navigation attributes, key figures. These are the three different areas what we have in our cube. So in the cube, so very important point is navigation attributes and key figures dimensions. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a multi-provider now, and I'm going to include this cube in that multi-provider. Okay, so on top of multi-provider we create reports like in BW4 HANA. How we are creating reports on top of composite provider in older BW system, systems, we always create reports on top of multi-provider. Okay, so multi-provider is fetching data from the underlying providers, nothing but cubes and DSOs, cubes mainly. So now I'm going to create a multi-provider now. So how to create multi-provider? Right click on the info area, create multi-provider. So you need to provide the name here. So I'm going to give sr_m_cell. Okay, sales multi-provider. Click on create. So, when we creating composite provider also, it will ask for the, something, right? Which providers you want to add. In the same way, multi-provider also, its system is asking. There at least we can go without giving something here, but in multi-provider, it is not possible. So after providing technical name and description, you must select which objects you want to add to this multi-provider. These are all physical objects. So if you want to add DSOs, you need to select here. If you want to add info cubes, you need to search here and check these check boxes. And semantic provider, hybrid provider, info objects, info sets, and then what is this one? Transient providers, aggregation levels. So many are there. So all these you can add under the multi-provider. Okay. So now I am going to add one cube here. So how to add this cube? I need to search my cube here. So because of I have less number of cubes in my environment, so I can simply see it by scrolling down. If it is not possible for you to scroll down having too many objects, click on the search button. In the search button, you need to give here sr_c your cube name. So that will be identified in this way. Now select the checkbox and then click on OK. Okay, so this is how you're going to create your multi-provider. This is not yet completed. Okay, once you selected your cube, then what happened on the left hand side you see your cube fields. On the right hand side it is a dummy. It is a dummy one. Okay, what I say means it's a fresh one. Nothing is there. Now you need to add from left hand side to right hand side whichever fields you need. Okay, so how to add? So for example, here on the time dimension, I don't have anything on time dimension. That's why it's not coming. But I have material dimension. But select your material dimension. Let me check. Drag and drop here. You see, when you drag and drop material dimension, everything material dimension came. All the fields from the material dimension came here. Similarly, document dimension also you can drag and drop. Why I'm doing drag and drop? If I'm not doing drag and drop, then I need to add these manually. Okay, right click, how to add manually, then right click here. No, not manually, but only by doing dragging and dropping, we generally add objects to the target. Okay, if not dimension, you need to drag and drop each object into your corresponding dimension. Okay, so how it is? So for example, let's take unit. I don't know whether it will come or not, but let me try. So 0 currency is there, like drag and drop into your unit dimension. Yeah, unit dimension, that's why it is not coming. Only other dimensions I can do, but key figures I can show you. So I'm expanding key figures. I'm taking 0 amount 1 to 1. You see, amount came automatically. The corresponding currency is coming here. This amount, if I want to drag and drop amount into your quantity into your key figures, it will come. So this is first part only. Still you have to do more. Okay, so whichever fields you need from your cube, you need to drag and drop into your target structure. It is not mandatory to bring each and every field from your cube into your target, but based upon your requirement, whichever fields you need to add those to the target. So this is addition only. So like this, you can add multiple cubes here, and from multiple cubes you can add the corresponding fields to the target, whichever you required. Okay, so once, and now you see this dimension one, it is now blank, empty. So I don't have anything, so I can remove it. So right click here, delete. It's gone. Okay, so like this, now I have these many dimensions and info objects and key figures. Now if I go to navigation attribute section, so how exactly these navigation attributes are coming here? So for the master data info objects in your target, whichever master data info objects are there, in any of the master data info object, if you enable navigation attributes, then you can see all those navigation attributes under this navigation attribute section. Okay, but enabling, if you click this checkbox, then only it will come to the reporting. Okay, like in composite provider, in the output tab, we will go there and enable our required navigation attributes. Correct. In the same way, here also, if you whichever navigation attributes you needed, you need to click the checkbox here. Then only those will be added to your MultiProvider output. Okay, it will be shown here, but until unless you click this checkbox, it is not part of your MultiProvider output. Okay, remember that. So that this is now whatever we seen till now is the part 1. Now what is part 2? After bringing everything into this one, you need to do one more activity called assignment. So now right click on the info object material, select identify assign. Okay, so now what here, if you when you go to here, it will, this kind of pop-up will come. Here you need to select this checkbox. What is this? So the target. So if you see on the top, info object G material is a, because our multi-provider is a virtual provider where it doesn't hold the data physically, and you added a cube to it. So from the cube, which field is mapped to this G material info object in the target is the you are saying that one. So this is called assignment. Okay, so now my G material in my target was mapped to material info object in the sales cube. So you need to select this checkbox. Okay, similarly now I need to go to next field here. So all the fields you need to provide this checkbox saying that from which cube, which column, which field you need to map it. So how exactly these are coming here? So actually in my sales cube I have many fields, but only this field is coming. Why? Because this is exactly matching to the this technical name and everything. That's why system is proposing this field only here. Now currently we have very less number of fields in my multi-provider. So going one by one, doing this checkbox is easy. But sometimes our multi-provider may contains 50 to 60 fields. In that case, going one by one and clicking this checkbox is a very hectic task. For that reason, SAP provided one option called this one, all. You see, create proposal for all objects. Click on this button. If you click on this button, what system will do is system automatically checks this checkbox for the matching info object technical names. So you see G created on is a technical name of my target info object, and my source info object is also having same kind of technical name. So it will enable the checkbox automatically. Now if I go to next step, you see I can already see this checkbox checked because I did propose all. Propose all means based upon the technical name matching, it will do the checkbox setting for all the info objects here. Okay, so that's it. So this is after that, click on this tick button. Then only the changes will be captured here. So now whatever you done is only for the dimension part. You still have to do it for the key figures and navigation attributes. So now come to key figures, right click on it, select assign, and here also you need to click this checkbox, or you can go for propose all. So click on this checkbox, and then for the second one also click on this checkbox. Click on tick mark. Then if you click on tick mark, then only changes will be captured into this one. You see it is there. Now coming to the navigational. So first thing in the navigational, the first thing is you must click the checkbox if you want to use it. Okay, and after using it, wherever you clicked on checkbox, for those you need to do the assignment. Right click, identify assign. You see now I need to select this one, identify material one. Okay, click on OK. Then now the dimensions got assigned, navigational got assigned, and key figures also got assigned. Now click on activate button. So this is how we create a multi-provider. So bringing first preparing the output structure by adding the objects to the target is part 1, and the second half is to do the proper assignment. Okay, and important point to remember, so if you are creating the multi-provider first time, then yes, you can do this automatic assignment. But sometimes in the real-time projects, if you are doing adding some extra fields to the existing multi-provider, never go to right click and select identify assign. Yeah, never do this proposal. Okay, because if you are adding one new field to your multi-provider, then what definitely for all the whichever new field you are adding as part of enhancements to the multi-provider, you must do this assignment also. Okay, but while performing this assignment, just don't go for proposal, because you don't know because in the existing fields, you don't know whether they assigned each field to the same technical name or different fields. Okay, if we don't know that one, so if you do propose all, it will overwrite all the existing info objects to the functionality. For example, if this was mapped to some other row here, which is different technical name, because of your proposal, it will overwrite and it will try to do the select one. Okay, na? So for the when we doing enhancements, we must not change the existing functionality. Okay, for that reason, it is too at this point of time you may not be understand it completely this point, but just try to understand this one in the real-time projects. If your requirement is to add one extra field to the multi-provider, then add that field and right click, go to identify assign and do this assignment manually. Don't use proposal statement here. If you are adding 2 to 3 new fields to the multi-provider, then also do this checkbox manually. Means manually by clicking this checkbox, going to the next field. But don't use this proposal. Okay, na? That is the caution here. So multi-provider was activated. So where I can see multi-provider, I go to my BW class objects. Yeah, you see sales multi-provider was created here. So now this multi-provider follows union functionality, and when I try to execute the data, it fetch data from the bottom info cube. So right click on the multi-provider, display data, and in the display data it is just like common, like how we do it for our composite provider, display data from SAP GUI. In the same way we do here also. We will select field selection for output. We will select only the characteristics. SIDs we don't select. Okay, material group. If instead of selecting one by one, we can go for select all characteristics. Automatically all the characteristics will be selected, and key figures by default selected. You don't need to select again, and then click on execute. And here you need to remove 200 entries, or based upon your data availability in the backend, you need to keep this number. And then click on execute. You can see it. As of now, my cube doesn't have any data, so I'm not doing the data preview here. Okay, here the intention is to let you know how to create a multi-provider. Okay, and next thing. So next important point about multi-provider. So here we completed about multi-provider concept. It means how to create multi-provider. What are the important points to be to keep it in mind when creating a multi-provider, we discussed. But there is one more very important point, to learn here. Okay, what is that one? This is one of the real-time requirement. For example, you see we have GMaterial info object. So let me go to GMaterial RSD1 GMaterial. So in the GMaterial, in the attributes, I have many attributes are there. Okay, currently only material group was enabled as navigational attribute. Now your user requirement is I want material type also into my report. Okay, as of now, if you create your report on top of your multi-provider, you can use only material group as of now. Okay, you can show them, but user is asking I want material type information also to be available in the report. So now the requirement is you must enable this navigation attribute here and bring it to your multi-provider so that you can add it to the free care section of your query. So I hope you understand all this terminology, because we already covered query concept where what is navigation attribute, what is free care section and everything. Okay, so now your requirement is to add this material type to the query free care section. Okay, so in that case what you do, you simply come to this info object, go to edit mode. Yeah, here it is not possible, GMaterial. So I need to go to HANA Studio. Here you double click on GMaterial info object. Okay, in the GMaterial under attribute section, I am enabling material type also as navigational. Okay, and then click on activate button. So what happened now? Now navigation was activated to the info object GMaterial. So now whenever you enable navigation attribute to your G material, material type, well, let this activate, then I will go to the next step. Done. Now I am going to my backend. I am doing /n RS7. Why? Because when you have some changes to be reflected in your screen, you must refresh your screen first. Okay. Now if I go to MultiProvider, under the navigation attribute section, you see now I can see both material group and material type. Earlier material type is not there. Now it is showing. Why? Because now material info object contains 2 navigation attributes, but this was not ticked with this. Now user requirement is to bring this material type into the navigational. Means you need to select this checkbox here so that it will comes under reporting. Okay. Yeah, but you see the important point here is it is not yet done. Enabling this as a navigation attribute at MultiProvider level will not, is not the complete solution here. Why? Because after adding anything to the MultiProvider, you must perform the identify assign. But you see, when you go to identify assign, nothing is there here. Why? Because in order to use anything as a navigation attribute in MultiProvider, first thing, it must be enabled in the underlying cube also. This is important point. Okay. So it must be available in cube. Then only this navigation attribute you can utilize in the MultiProvider level. Okay. This kind of dependency was not there in composite provider. In composite provider, there you can directly go to output tab and enable the navigation attributes. There is no dependency with the ADSOs. Okay. Just for your information. Now now what I need to do, first I need to go back here. I cannot do any changes here. First I need to go back to the cube level. I need to edit my cube, enable this material type navigation attribute at cube level, activate it. So now I activated. Now I am refreshing my screen /n RS7. So why I am refreshing my screen, I will tell you. So expand this cube. You see earlier this particular transformation was in active state. Okay, because I am enabled my navigation attribute at cube level, nothing but I am changing the structure of the cube. Whenever any target, either it is a cube, DSO, ADSO or composite provider, if you are not composite provider, like a cube, ADSO or a DSO, if you change the structure of the object, automatically the underlying transformation or upper layer, immediate upper layer transformation will get deactivated. So you must handle that scenario also. So you must go to change mode. You see not executable is there, activate it. Okay, in real time when someone asks you to modify or update the any target, don't simply update the target and tell that you are done with the task. Always make sure there is any impact to the underlying objects or underlying transformations or immediate upper layer, means upward flow transformations got affected or not. Okay, only immediate, it means which is linked with this cube only will get inactive when do some structural changes. Okay, now I am done with enabling navigation attribute at cube level. Now I am going to MultiProvider level. Go to edit button. Now go to navigation attributes. Enable this navigation attribute here. Now right click, identify assign. Now you see, now I can see this selection from the source, select this one and then click on OK, activate. So this is how to enhance an cube with extra navigation attributes or with extra fields also. If it is an extra field also, same concept. First of all, the field must be available in the sales cube structure, then only you can add it to the target structure and do the assignment. Okay, so this is important. Now we are done. So by this by point we are done with the explanation on say MultiProvider concept completely. So the next topic what we are going to learn is the InfoSet. So InfoSet is mainly used for the join functionality. So if you have union functionality, if you need, generally most of the time we always create MultiProvider only, and sometimes very rarely we go for InfoSet functionality in old BW systems. Why always multi-provider? Multi-provider provides the faster performance compared to the InfoSet. Okay, because of join functionality, InfoSet is not recommendable in most of the cases. Okay, so how to create InfoSet? Just right click on the info area, create InfoSet. So what is it? So network flow hierarchy display. Network flow means something hierarchy means yeah, I think network only I think. So here also you need to provide what is the InfoSet technical name like SR underscore I SAL sale. I'm giving sales InfoSet. So start with info provider. So I can start with my one of my info cube SR underscore C sale. Okay, you see this kind of structure is almost similar to our composite provider structure. Means how it looks like appearance. So now here you see this is how to create an InfoSet. So InfoSet also in the right hand side you see the design, on the left hand side you see the source cube. Okay, info cube. These are all the on the source side it is showing not only the one you selected but all the providers, whatever info cubes you have in system, whatever DSOs you have in system, whatever info objects you have, master info objects you have, those it is showing. Okay, but I don't know why only geometry is there. Let's see later. Okay, now if I see here on the design, this is called design panel. On the design, whichever you added as a starting object, it got added. Okay, so now what we need to do is InfoSet is mainly to perform joins. Okay, it means we can join with some other object. So how to add join here? Now I am going to add this with my material. Okay, I am adding material into my design. You see now material came. So how to add, how to join between these two? Now the material field from in this one can be joined with the material field on the right hand side. Okay, so join was happened here. So once again. So that's it. Join is there. Just a second. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. 1 minute. Auto arrange. So right click on the target. So join type. So what kind of join? So as of now, it. The base here is InfoCube. Now this kind of join is an inner join or left outer join or anti join. So these three joins it supports. Okay. So currently I want left outer join here. But now I'm confused which one is starting object, which one is ending object. So base info object. Okay. How to know which one is base? When I say left outer join, right click here, right click here, join type, left outer. So yeah, a little bit confused here. Which one is left outer now? Left hand. But anyhow, how to create InfoSet? I'm going to teach here. Anyway, nowadays we are not creating InfoSets at all in our BW. But to have some general overview, I'm telling this concept. Now you see, since already material is coming here, you don't need to do here. This particular join functionality is same kind how you join in your composite provider. Okay, in our earlier session at the composite provider level, we seen how we are going to join multiple objects. So same kind of functionality, just you need to do mapping one to one here, and then but in composite provider you are going to define your join functionality by doing something else. But here simply you do by doing this mapping, you can define the join condition, and by right clicking on the target you can define the what kind of join you want to use, inner join or left outer or something like that. Okay, So inner join. So here you need to mention this is the main target in this one. This is secondary. So for this in InfoCube, the other one is type inner join. As of now I'm selecting. So and then activate it. That's it. This is how to create an InfoSet. So how InfoSet looks like in our normal BW, this is the symbol for InfoSet. Okay, so MultiProvider provides union functionality, InfoSet provides join functionality, and how to create I shown you. So there is nothing much to discuss on this InfoSet at this point of time. If you want to enable any navigation attributes, you see like this automatically these two navigation attributes got added to the target. So there is no assignment concept here because it follows join functionality. You just need to select this one. Okay, now all whichever fields are checked here, those only your part of your output. If you uncheck anything, those fields are not part of your output. Okay, and it is a little bit difficult also to work with InfoSet. It's not so easy. Okay, that's it. So I'm concluding my session by explaining about this InfoSet. Okay, I'm stopping recording.